monthly checks starting in December? That's what some lawmakers want to do. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, you're not going to believe it, but a group of lawmakers just came forward calling on monthly checks to be restarted in December. Sounds pretty exciting, right? Well, yes, it is, but at the same time, there's also a major problem, and that's exactly what I want to discuss with you right here in the video, as well as all the details that you need to know about what these lawmakers are calling on. So let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing all the research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on, and most importantly, how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course, anything out there right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of as a low-income or fixed-income beneficiary. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and always remember, I am here for you in any way that I possibly can be, advocating on your behalf as much as I can, as again, that is my dedication, that's my commitment, and that's my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about what this group of lawmakers is now calling on in regards to starting monthly checks in December, as well as the major problem that I do want to point out for you, again, with what these lawmakers are now saying. However, now don't get me wrong, starting of monthly checks is pretty exciting for those people that would be eligible. However, the key words here are for those people that are eligible. Now again, I want to point this out for you because honestly, we've been talking about things like this for a very long time, and as low income and fixed income beneficiaries, you know that the need for a one-time check, ongoing monthly checks, or anything like that, we know is very high. In other words, the low income and fixed income need additional money right now. This is not a game. This is not a joke. We need something really badly right now. And for these lawmakers to come forward and introduce what they did, honestly, I find it to be a little bit insulting. But anyway, at the same time, it's also very exciting for some people. And I don't want to dismiss that at all, because I do know that there are some of you here in the community that would be eligible for these checks. But again, at the same time, not everybody, unfortunately, and that's also what I want to bring to your attention. So again, these lawmakers, unfortunately, yet again, have tunnel vision, and they certainly need to take off the blinders, and they need to see what's going on around them, because clearly they're not seeing the full picture, which all of us here in the community clearly see, which we've been trying to convey to Congress for at least a couple years now. So again, let me tell you the details about this. Now stick with me on this, because I might go off on a little rant here in just a minute, and it might actually be a little bit funny, but seriously, I want to do what I can for you, and I think we need to pull out the old pen and paper again. But anyway, we'll get into that here in just a second. Here's what they came out with. A group of 58 lawmakers drafted a letter calling on the restart of the child tax credit payments in December before Democrats lose control of the House of Representatives. Now, obviously, the midterm elections are beyond us, and we already know that the House of Representatives will be flipped to the control of Republicans, and we do know that the Senate will remain in the control of Democrats, and then obviously the president is staying. You know, obviously nothing is changing there, right? So we do know that Democrats will no longer be in full control. By the way, this is not a political statement. These are not like, I'm not taking political sides here. This is the fact of the matter. We do know this, because the midterm elections are pretty much over now, right? Okay, so we have the details on this. We do know that there will be a divided government going forward for the next couple of years here. So here's what these lawmakers are now saying. They wrote this letter, 58 of them, by the way. They drafted a letter, and they said, we've got to bring back the child tax credit payments, the ongoing monthly checks, by the way, that were going out from July through December of 2021. Remember that? About 38 million households were included, and that also included about 66 million kids, which, by the way, the average household was getting $422 every single month. And by the way, the federal government was sending out over $16 billion into the pockets of the households every single month. But again, let me ask you this much. Were seniors included? Nope. Were people with disabilities included? In some instances, yes, but a lot were not, unless you had a kid that was aged 17 or younger, right? Those were the stipulations. So again, unfortunately, a lot of seniors living on a fixed income who really need this money, unfortunately, were not included, because your kids are probably 30, 25, 35, 40, something like that, right? So unfortunately, they're over the threshold of being eligible, right? So as a result of that, all of these, fixed income, seniors, older adults, people with disabilities, low income individuals are coming forward saying, what about us? What about us? Again, what happened to us? We don't have kids. We're struggling just as much as everybody else. Let's make it fair here, right? And again, coming from a country like this where we continue to claim to be like, oh, this country of fairness and all this stuff like this. I mean, seriously, if we're claiming to be this country, then why is there such a division in this country? Again, just saying here, I don't want to go down and open up a big old can of worms on this, but seriously, you got to be kidding me right now. So anyway, this is what these lawmakers are calling it. Now, this letter was just released today from these 58 lawmakers, and they basically said, we've got a little over a month to go with full control. Hey, Democrats, let's step up and do something here. Let's resurrect the child tax credit payments, the ongoing child tax credit payments. Now, don't get me wrong. For those of you that do have kids under the age of 18, 17 and younger, and if you're low income, as in $75,000 a year or less as an individual, or $150,000 a year as a married couple, this is great news for you. I mean, seriously, this is very exciting to think that they might be bringing this back here before the end of the year. That's pretty cool stuff. I mean, seriously, let's be real. But at the same time, we all have to think at the same time, what about all the people that also fall into the low income category that also need ongoing monthly checks, right? Again, what are the lawmakers thinking? Are they thinking? I think that's the real question here. Are they even thinking? I think that's what we should be asking ourselves right now again. But again, I don't want to say, at the same time, I don't want to sit here and say it's bad that we should be sending out the child tax credit payments. I'm not saying that at all. It's great. But at the same time, why not expand this a little bit more to maybe low-income seniors and, I don't know, turn it into like an adult tax credit, something like this, where maybe the older adults and people with disabilities, those individuals who may not be qualified because maybe your kids are grown and maybe they're over the age of 17, or maybe you're single and maybe you don't have kids, things like this. There's a variety of different situations. What about that? Why can't we expand it out into everybody else like this, right? And again, this encompasses millions upon millions of households. Like I said, last year in 2021, it encompassed about 38 million households, 66 million kids. It's a lot of people, right? How hard would it really be to expand this out by another, I don't know, 20 million people, seniors, people with disabilities, fixed income beneficiaries, the people that are really, really struggling and really need these ongoing monthly checks? It wouldn't be that hard, and it really wouldn't cost all that much more considering how much these checks were going out, which, by the way, these checks were ranging anywhere between $250 and $300 every single month per child, by the way. And again, how many times have we talked about the potential $200 per month raise to Social Security, and how much many of us here in the community have said, an extra $200 a month, it wouldn't be the total amount that I need, but at the end of the day, an extra $200 a month would certainly be a huge relief in a big way for a lot of people. Totally agree with you. How about $300? How about $250? Yeah, exactly, right? It'd be a huge help. It may not completely fill the gap, but you know what? It would certainly be a good start to start filling in that hole and start filling in the gap that everybody has on a monthly basis with bills and utilities and food on the table and gas in your car and, I don't know, maybe to heat your home to the proper temperature these days. You know what I mean? Seriously. So anyway, this is what the lawmakers are calling on. Whether they do actually get it done or not, that's a good question. And again, maybe it's just more talk out of lawmakers to kind of stir the pot, as they always love to do. But another thing that they actually attached to this, now again, there was a little bit of an ultimatum that they attached to this. Basically what they said is that if lawmakers come forward and if they do pass additional corporate tax breaks, in other words, giving tax breaks to large corporations, if they do that, they also need to pass ongoing monthly checks for the advanced child tax credit payments. So that's kind of the ultimatum that they gave with this. Is they basically said, if you're going to give tax credits and tax cuts to corporations, you got to restart the monthly checks. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's do this, right? If that's the case, then why not expand them out a little bit further to those people that are also struggling so badly right now who may not be eligible for child tax credit payments? Not that hard to do, Congress. Let's get it done. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about this. Again, I apologize going off a little rant here, but at the same time, somebody's got to do this. Somebody has to be the squeaky wheel. I don't mind being the squeaky wheel, right? Just don't squirt any WD in my eyes, right? You know what I mean, right? So anyway, my point is, I think it might be time to draft up another little letter. You know, it's been a while since I've drafted a letter. I know a lot of times we haven't gotten a whole lot of response from these things, but I did get that letter from the White House maybe 3 months or so ago. I got that letter that was sent back. So in other words, they're reading the letters, they're receiving them, and they certainly are reading them because I got that letter back, right? By the way, I had that video out maybe like, I don't know, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 months ago, something like that, where we read that letter to you that was sent to me as a result of the letters that I've sent out. But maybe a simple letter sending out to Congress would be super basic and just say, you know, I know you're talking about restarting these checks for the child tax credit. How hard would it really be to expand these out to seniors, older adults, people with disabilities, fixed income beneficiaries, the people that are maybe living on, I don't know, $20,000 a year or less of fixed income benefits, or $25,000 or maybe $40,000? It wouldn't be that hard for them to do. And at the end of the day, it wouldn't cost all that much, right? We've ran the numbers on this before. I've talked through all the numbers on this before. It wouldn't cost that much. Restarting this program is going to cost over $16 billion a month anyway. In fact, it's like $16.38 billion is what it costs on a monthly basis. Okay, so if they bump it up to $20 billion, do we really care? I mean, seriously, does it really matter? What if we take it up to $25 billion? Is it really going to make that big of a difference? Is it going to break the bank? It doesn't break the bank when they have a printing press and they just print more. You know what I mean? You can't break the bank when you can just print more, right? Unfortunately, as us, we the citizens, we unfortunately do not have a printing press, and we can't because that's illegal, right? But they do, and they can just print out more at any given point, right? They can just say, hey, we need some money, let's print her on up, okay? That's what they can do. So anyway, I might draft a little letter here. I'm not sure if I will. Let me know down below if you want me to draft a letter on this. I'd be happy to do so. We can send it out. Again, we're really tight on time here, considering we're pretty much approaching the end of the year here in like what? Wow, is it like 5 weeks away or so? Something like that? We're very close here. So anyway, they got their work cut out for them, and then the new Congress will be coming in early January. We all know that. So they got a really tight time frame. If they're going to get it done, they've got to get it done soon. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on this one along with all of the other things going on out there, and I'll bring you the details as they hit the wires. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Remember, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be, being your advocate, again, being your daily voice, helping you out in any way that I can. It's time to hammer down. What do you say, right? Let's do it. All right, anyway, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of video. And also, let me know your feedback down below. Should I draft a letter? Is it a waste of time? Should I not? What do you think? I'd be happy to do so. I'm not really sure. I would like to know from you if it's something we should pursue. Like I always say, and like my wife and I always say, you'd never know unless you try. Seriously, you never know. You never know. All it could take is maybe one letter to finally get something done here. Might be worth it. I don't know. Anyway, hope you're having a nice day so far. Enjoy your evening. Thanks again for your support. Subscribe down below, and I'll catch you.